Colorado and North Dakota State coming down to the final play. The Bison with it from about the 50-yard line. Cam Miller to the end zone, and it's short about 5 yards. And that's how it ends as NDSU comes up short. Colorado survive and advance 31-26 in their season opener. They won just 4 games last year, started the season 3-0, and then they lost 8 of their last 9 games. And plenty of questions coming in, a new revamped roster coming in. Shedeur Sanders had himself a game, 445 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 of them to Travis Hunter. His 3rd touchdown catch was ridiculous, and Colorado hanging on against FCS power North Dakota State. Welcome in former Louisiana running back Emory Hunt. You know what time it is? They don't want to go 4-8 like they did last year. When you look at this first game for Coach Prime and the Buffs, what stands out to you?
Run game lacks, no pass rush, and the linebackers were non-existent for the defensive side of football. So for me, the defense still has a lot of work to do for Colorado in terms of being able to get push, being able to find a run game with your backers, and also on offense, you got to find a way to get the run game. Now, they did start to find some attempts later in the game, but the run game is still a question mark. I thought the offensive line did a decent job, considering they're starting a freshman at left tackle. Seaton was a fantastic prospect, but defensively, man, they still have some of the same issues that we saw last year. But as long as you have number 2, Shedeur Sanders, and number 12 in Travis Hunter, you're going to always find the end zone, find points, find big plays.
Yeah, run game virtually non-existent, but the passing game, well, it was very clean when you take a look at what Shedeur Sanders did with both Jimmy Horn Jr. and Travis Hunter. I want to take you back to Travis Hunter's 3rd touchdown catch. I mean, this was like a cheat code, the way he was able to corral that football. And my question to you is, why is he even playing DB? Well, this is a wide receiver 1 in the NFL down the road here.
He's also a CB1. So let's take it from both ends, right? Let's look at him as a wide receiver. Wide receiver, he's catching the football, has great hands, kind of like DeAndre Hopkins, right? Could pluck the ball out of the air. So let's give him that. As a defensive back, he's Sauce Gardner with better hands than Sauce Gardner. So you have that going for him. And I feel like, why not play both? But let's say he gets drafted as a corner. I would stay at corner. Reason being, you take away one half the field. And because he has the experience as a receiver, he understands route concepts. He understands what the passing game looks like. He understands situational football. He can anticipate, and he has a great hands to go away from it. He's going to either catch a lot of picks, or you're going to find other ways to go to the football. Who does that sound like? It sounds a lot like Deion Sanders to me.
Well, I don't think he wants to be Deion Sanders. I think he wants to be Travis Hunter and a wide receiver 1 and get paid $30 million a year.
Or you get paid doing both.
No, he ain't got to play both.
Why not?
That ain't happening. Is this Shohei Ohtani in the NFL?
I mean, listen, he doesn't have to play every down like he's doing in Colorado, but he could be a break in case of emergency type offensive player for a team. Because, again, as a defensive back, you're essentially playing, especially now with mobile quarterbacks, you're playing, they evened out the numbers. So on defense, you can take away a number because you're taking away a half the field. You're taking away a passing option. They will not throw a football towards you if they know you have equal or better than a chance to catch the football than the receiver that you're going up against. So I would leave him at corner, and in situations where you need offensive big plays, put him at receiver. Therefore, you know, because again, people will see him at receiver, the coverage goes toward him, the other guys get to eat. So he could be a decoy and be fantastic in that regard.
Well, Shedeur Sanders got him the football early and often. Good numbers in terms of what he did in this game. 26-34, 445, 4 touchdowns. But can he put up those numbers? Can he be efficient against, like Utah, against teams like Arizona in the Big 12? Is this quarterback going to be able to be competitive against Kansas end of the season? I know he's a Heisman Trophy candidate as we start the season, but as Shedeur Sanders, you got to hang on here to beat North Dakota State.
He did it against TCU last year. He did it against Arizona last year. He did it against Arizona State, came back and won that game. He did it against Colorado State. He did it in the SWAC against FAMU with 2 NFL defensive backs and an NFL pass rusher. He's been doing it since then. So, yes, he can do it in the Big 12. The question for Shedeur Sanders, and we saw a little bit of what we saw last season creep up into this first game, know when to let a dead play die. You know, and sometimes get rid of the football, throw it away, or if you're going to run, make that decisive decision and just take off and get the cheap yards and then get down. So we saw him hold the ball a little bit long tonight, and he took some ill-advised sacks or got himself into trouble more than he needed to get himself into trouble. So you want to see those things clean up, but just off the strength of what he does well, again, I've been saying this since 2021, this is Joe Burrow reincarnated. I know it sounds weird because he's still alive and with us, but Joe Burrow 2.0 is Shedeur Sanders.
What we do is always look ahead. They play Nebraska next week.
He lit up Nebraska last year, too. Under siege.
I'm aware of that. What do they got to clean up? What do they got to work on going into that game 2?
They have to find the run game. Nebraska got better, so you got to be able to have balance. If they don't have balance, they could be a problem for Colorado. So run game has to get better. The linebackers, listen, there were a couple of plays. The first play of the game, you saw the linebacker get dusted by the receiver and kind of gave up chasing him down because he couldn't catch him. This will be a problem for them against Nebraska if they can't get better at linebacker. Now, we saw this be an issue for their backers last year against TCU, and then the next game against Nebraska, we saw 2 new linebackers starting, and they got much better play. So we'll see if they make the adjustments. But linebacker play, finding the pass rush against a talented true freshman quarterback in Dylan Raiola, who they'll face next week, they have to find ways to fix that for week 2.
Looking forward to that matchup. Started the season 3-0 last year, including that win against Nebraska, but unfortunately lost 8 of their final 9 games of the season, finished 4-8. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And for now, Coach Prime and the Buffs off to a 1-0 start as they hang on to beat North Dakota State 31-26. Shedeur Sanders, 3rd game with 400 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns. That's pretty impressive. Look at the other names here on this list. Michael Penix Jr., he's in the NFL. Dylan Gabriel, now the quarterback at Oregon. Shedeur Sanders with a heck of a game, leading the Buffs to a 31-26 victory here in week 1.